is completely off. Completely off. Let's abandon it. But everything has broken this week. Everything. Absolutely everything. Starting with the toilet. For a little while, the cistern in the bathroom has been sort of dripping. And the way that I found to make it so that it wasn't dripping after you flushed it is to go in and tighten. There's a thing called a ball cock. And you have to, it's actually called that. Happy summer. Yeah, happy summer. It's sort of Sunday. It is sort of summer. Anyway, I tightened it and it was working, but I tightened it one little time too much. And the plastic, because it was completely plastic, snapped off. And so I had a blue ball in my hand. Yes, it's literally, it was a big sort of floaty thing, right? So that broke. I went away to London for a little while, and while I was there, I got a frantic message from my mother saying, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm all right." She said, "Because the picture of you fell off the wall." I'm like, "What are you talking about? The picture fell off. That's a bit spooky." Anyway, so the picture of me fell off the wall. So I was like, it's fine. I'm fine. Anyway, I got home and my mother said that she poked a stick into the dryer and the dryer doesn't work anymore. There's a washer and there's a dryer. The dryer doesn't work anymore. So then I turned the light on in the hall and the hall light fell off. And then I noticed that my dad had, I didn't know which picture it was, but my dad had put this picture up above the mantelpiece. This is the picture that apparently fell down. He put it above the mantelpiece and I thought, oh, that's nice. And I went to bed. But this morning I woke up and imagine the mantelpiece here. Imagine the picture. The picture had somehow jumped off the wall and sort of landed on the seat that I normally sit on, face down, and the hook was next to it. Everything's falling apart. So I don't know whether this is some sort of portents of gloom. Probably not. It's just or doom or boom or noom. It is what it is. Everything's breaking. It's all a little bit much, and this guitar is out of tune. Everything is breaking too. Everything is going wrong. What am I to do with this song? Because it's not a song. It's all out of tune. And it's June. How can it be summer so soon? It is summer. It's all connected, kind of. Yes, exactly. It's all connected. Everything's connected. Everything's connected. Thank you, Ara Fingal, and thank you very much. Everything is connected. It's all connected. Everything is connected. Connected so much, so very much. It is connected. Everything's connected. So this is fun. So this week I've been to London and I posted a little walk that I did along the Thames with the embankment and seeing Cleopatra's, not really Cleopatra's Needle. So go and see that. It's only 2 or 3 minutes. And my dad said he said he saw it and he was like, "That's good. Where's the rest of it?" It's like, well, I did actually walk all the way to Blackfriars and I kept filming because it was quite a sunny day. I couldn't see what was happening on my camera phone. And I thought that I saw Bazalgette, whatever his name is, the guy that did all the sewage systems and the great-grandfather of the guy that did Big Brother, the TV show. Anyway, Joseph Bazalgette. There's a whole sort of like this like big slabs. Like if you've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, there's big monoliths. Well, there's a big load of those further up, nearer to Blackfriars. So you have to go. There was a load of roadwork, so I was forced to get off the road and go down to that to the river there. And I was like, wow, look at that. And this guy, there's a skateboarding park. This guy skateboarded and he sort of did a sort of jump and he sort of landed right behind me, sort of just next to me, and I went, "Bloody hell!" And he went, "Sorry," and I'm like, "Yes, fine, whatever," because he didn't actually knock me down and it was a skateboarding park, but I wasn't inside the skateboarding park. There was also a walkway, so we all have to work together. Anyway, I filmed all of this. I thought, turns out I put it on slow motion or fast motion or something motion. It was useless footage. It was just, or it might be, I don't know. I deleted it because it was useless. So I walked all the way to Blackfriars, and I was like filming the back, and I was talking about there's like a between Blackfriars Bridge and there's a rail, two Blackfriars bridges, and in the middle there's some posts where somebody was going to build another bridge, and they never got around to finishing it. But there's just like these elaborate sort of plinths where there would have been a bridge. So I was filming that and going, oh, that's interesting. And I was supposed to get somewhere, and I kept walking. Because I can't read a map properly, it turns out. So I was like, oh, it's 4 minutes from where I am at Blackfriars Station. I keep walking, and I didn't have Google Maps properly on. I was like, where am I now? And it turns out I went all the way to the Millennium Bridge. So that's far too far because I needed to get to Blackfriars. And I was already at Blackfriars, but I got confused because of the roadworks and the walking in the sun. I don't know what was wrong. Anyway, I went back. There was an event. There was the launch of the Fringe programme. The Fringe! Edinburgh Fringe programme, but it was in London, because there was one in Edinburgh the week before, but I thought it's a long way to go just to go to a Fringe programme in Edinburgh and then come back again. So what I'll do is I'll go to this, and then I'll stay overnight, and I'll visit some friends, and then I'll do some free Fringe stuff, and then I'll come back. So I was there for 2 days. Well, sort of 2 days, travelling for one of them. So that was good. I stayed with a friend, which was interesting because they got a new gate system and they weren't quite sure what the protocol was. So they said it's really difficult to get in. So they were shouting out the window instructions. It's like, it's not working. You actually have to be inside and wait until I press the bell so that you can actually let me in. So it was like, it's no good going press this button and this button, because these buttons aren't what opens the gate. So eventually I got in after some person passed and pressed the button on a neighbour's house, and the neighbour came out and was like, what are you doing? Anyway, I got in and I stayed the night, so that was all good. So it was good. I did a lot of walking. Like on Wednesday I did 16,000 steps, and then I did about 6,000 the next 2 days, but it felt like I'd walked a long way further than that. So I don't know whether it was actually cataloguing how far I was walking, because I felt like I was walking a long way. I was walking like Hampstead and Chalk Farm and up and down and around and all over the place. I don't know. Is anybody there? So I didn't have time. Lots of people were like, hey, let's meet up. And I was like, I'm there and back again. I had the event, and then a walking, and then another event after the sort of faffing about, shouting up for the hey, what? And so I wasn't really there long enough, and then I came back again. So that's it. So here, hello, Arafingo, hello, everyone, and yeah, that's all that's here. Yeah, you're the only person here, but that's good. Good to see a familiar face. I can't see your face. A familiar name, you know what I mean. Anyway, so that was this week. Walking around, and I did a bit of filming, and that was fun. Yay! So lots of walking, and then everything broke. So that's pretty much been my week this week, except I was looking forward for the Vampire Lestat, which isn't available in Britain yet. So what I did instead was I ordered the book, which I've read before, but not for a while. So I got the book instead. And I am aware that there are ways and means of accessing things that are otherwise not available, but I'm trying not to do that. Oh, this is a hotel. One of the ones I was looking at to see, should I stay there? Anyway, so maybe I will. Yeah, so I'm using it as a bookmark, and so that's fun. Maybe I'll stay there, because I was going to stay in where I stayed before, in the box. A coffin for a bed. Vampire Lestat, in the Vampire Lestat coffin in central London, but that was wasn't that appealing really. I was like, oh my gosh, it's cheaper than all the others, but by the time I actually got around to try and book it, it gone up. So it was like it wasn't even a cardboard box. It was more of a sort of uh roller blind thing with a it's a storage closet, a storage cupboard, like a very small store, like a space for a luggage. It was it's just a sort of yeah, it's long enough for the bed, and you just lie there. So there's like a little shelf behind you and a light, and then you lie down, and then the roller blind is at the end. So it's not really secure, really, because I mean, I think they've got like a special lock to a special code to get into the whole area, but there's like 40, 50 people there, so you can't really lock your individual thing while you're in it. You can lock it when you're not in there. They sell like little locks to lock up your stuff, but then when you're in it, you can't lock it. You know, I don't think there's any way, and you wouldn't want to, because you'd be trapped. What if something happened and you'd be trapped in it? It's an interesting thing. I've got a video of the last time I stayed there. And I mean, it was quite cozy. I stayed there 2 days the last time, and it was sort of cozy. And I was sort of thinking, this is nice. I'll actually see whether you can buy these sort of things. You can buy a box that you can sleep in. And I'm sure that you can buy a box that you can sleep in. But I think they are called coffins. So let's not do that yet. Not quite a vampire Lestat yet. So yeah, I look forward to seeing the TV show when it eventually comes to Britain. I might have actually seen something. It's not available, but I wouldn't find it. I wouldn't do any illicit things to try and find it. Maybe I've just psychically drawn it from the air and magically downloaded it into my brain. So I'm aware of what also everyone's posting clips everywhere, so it's really difficult to avoid spoilers. So it's like, oh, that's so annoying. I just Anthony Head died this week, and I put up, I don't know whether that was last week. Anyway, I put up an interview that I did with him, and I think I mentioned it last week actually. And that's the thing though, when Buffy was on, at first, it was a big lag between Buffy being on in America and then Buffy being on in Britain. Then, when it got really popular, they actually, I don't know what they did, but they put it on the next day. But the tape quality at that point in time, it's just the early 2000s, was really bad. So what they do, they just sort of like get a VHS or they might have, I don't know what they did, whether they, on very early internet-y type things, they downloaded it, but it was quite poor quality when it came on the next day. So it's like it hadn't rendered properly or something, which is quite interesting. And it was before you got widescreen, so it was like 4:3 and quite poor quality. But the advantage was it was the very next day, so you didn't have time to get spoiled on the internet, and people were spoiling things on the internet, but they didn't download the whole thing and upload it because it was not technically easy, which is why the quality wasn't great on. But no, this is 25 years ago, and the next day they would show an American TV show, quality not great, but they still show it. And now this, I think, is popular enough that they need to show it immediately. But no, they don't. They're waiting around. So at some point, I think the BBC is going to show it, but not until it's over in America and everybody has been spoiled that wants to see it. It's very annoying. It's like, get your acts together. This is an international world, and there's absolutely no way that you can get away with going, oh, we'll just withhold this media from you and just show it in one region, and you can just forget about you. You're just going to have to live with the fact that everybody's talking about it and you're not involved. The FOMO is real. Anyway, there are ways and means, which I found out, to get these things. And back in the day, when I was working for a TV magazine, sometimes I was used to watching things before everyone else because I would get sent the tape. So I'd be like, like 2-3 months before anyone else. I'd know what was happening in the TV shows. And your favourite TV show, I'd be like, I know what's happening. I don't need to wait for it to be on the television even. But sometimes it wasn't even available, and I'd contact the TV company and go, can I have like the tape, or can I have some pictures that we need to put in publication because we've got an early deadline. And they go, can't you just download it off the internet? It's like, at that point, no. And it would be poor quality. And it would be not copyrighted. You know, it would be copyrighted. We wouldn't be able to use it. But the TV companies over this in this country would just, you know, we don't care. Just get away with it. So it's like, as long as you're publicising their stuff. So I am used to seeing things well in advance. So it's really, really frustrating when they're not showing it over here. There's other things like American Ghosts. I know that's not the poppest quality thing ever, but I like it. And yet, I think the entirety of the last series has already been shown in America. And yet, is it available over here? And also, it's really harder to... I mean, there was all sorts of ways to get things. And there still is. And you would think it would be easier. But no, because they're cracking down on these things. Rightfully so. They should prosecute people for being illegal. But, that said... I want to watch them now. Can you just get around to doing things so that I don't have to consider these illicit ways to do things? I just want to see my TV show. I bought the book. Can I see the TV show? It's like this because there's things that I know happen in it because I've seen the clips online anyway. Because people have already put them up. It's just like. It's so annoying. Don't spoil me, just let me have it now. I am very, very, very impatient and I want to see the thing and I want to see it now. Please let me have it now. Please let me have it now. Nobody's letting me have it now. So that's very annoying. But you know, but this might not be something that anyone cares about, but I care about it because it's not fair. It's not fair. So a number of subscription services I pay for or somebody else pays for on my behalf, bit of both. The number of subscription services, and yet still I cannot see the things that I want to see. It's like, this is not a free and this is supposed to be capitalism. This is not proper capitalism. Capitalism is give me my thing and I'll give you some money and give me my thing. If the thing's not available, then I can't give you the blooming money, can I? It's not working properly. I mean, it's not really a great system anyway. But if you're going to have that system, then just let me pay my money and get my choice. No. Do you own the thing you subscribe to, or do they own you? Good point. They own you because you don't get the things that you want. Which I've got a physical copy of this. See, I bought it. I couldn't get... this is actually 17 years old. I couldn't get a recent copy of it. I looked. It's just like, what the... Really? There's no recently published... recently printed one. It's not available on ebooks. It's ridiculous. So this is copyright 1985. Yes, but that's not when it was. 2008. This is from 2008, right? There wasn't a more recent copy available online. It's like, give me my things. I had a hunt for this. And I think it's a new copy. So it's been in a warehouse somewhere for all this time. And I got, I dug up this. I couldn't find this online either, the actual book. This is a graphic novel that I've had for a long time, which was in a box. So that's if I want to read that one. And then this one, I bought this one, which is the comeback one. I think I mentioned this last week, but I haven't read this yet because I want to read this now. An actual interview with a vampire also was really difficult to come by, but that was on ebook. So that was only like $3.99 or something. So that's... I had to like reactivate my Kindle, which was hard as well because it's an old Kindle. It's like, and they've made it so that you can't download things properly. You can't get ebooks properly. They really make it hard. I don't know what's going on. Oh, why is the world so hard? I just want my things. I want my things. I want my things. I'll give you some money if you give me my things. Why can't I have my things? I just like things. Not fair. But yeah, so I'm gonna Because I've recently rewatched Interview with the Vampire, the TV show, which is the same but different to the book. The book has got, obviously it's set before. There's major differences, isn't it? But it's essentially the same thing. So it's the same vibe, really. So I've skipped straight to reading this one. I've got this far, so this is good because my eyes, which were not very good at reading, I thought they'd improve, but then I've changed my contact lenses this week, and it's yeah. If I read it right, yes, the great empty room beneath its immense dome. Yes, I can read. Ha ha! So I was reading. It's best when there's light, full light in my eyes. So it's good on the bus because I had light coming from every direction, so I could read things. I can't read in the dark. I think that most people can't read in the dark, but it's particularly bad with low light. So yeah, so that's good. So I had something to read on my bus because it was a long coach journey, 3 hours long. So I had something to read, and I had something to read at the bus stop as well, the coach stop. So I was there a long time. So yeah, so that's just, I haven't got very far. That's just because, I mean, on the way there was no internet on the coach, which was annoying, but on the way back there was. So I had other things to do. So so I did that instead. But yeah, so Thames, so that's really good. And then I will read those, and I will be joyful. It's one of my happy things, my happy things. There's things that I like very much, and I haven't really read for a long time. I haven't read anything for a long time. Somebody said, "What are you reading lately?" I said, "My eyes are too bad to read, but now I can read. I can read." Hooray! Yay, the joy, because I've had so many books. I've read so many books in my life, and I haven't read that many in the last few years because it's a strain on your eyes. But I should get back to that, and I've done so much stupid, like, little games and just doing stuff on the internet, read all the things. Yes, I should read all the things. I should get back to reading. Yeah, read all the things. This is true. Edinburgh, when I went 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was like, I shall buy a book. I shall buy a book and I shall read that on the way back. But they've only got like W.H. Smith bestsellers and some older books. But it's like the popular books that people have continued to buy. No Anne Rice though. There was no horror section, and and they're not available. It turns out, but so they've got a few older books, and then the popular new books. But there's not that much of a selection, and I've got. It's just like the sort of books that I read. I like gothic stuff. I like this sort of stuff. I will read literature. I have read literature. So they had a few literature. It's like as in older stuff, the sort of things that you study at university. And I did study them at degree level. I did. So it's everyone goes, it sucks the joy out of it when you do it at a degree level when you have to study. And I was like, no, actually no. You find stuff out about things and you learn to think and you learn to analyze, and I like that. But then you keep doing it for everything. So yeah, but I'm out of practice with all of that really. But that's okay. I will analyze all the stuff. I will read it and analyze it, and then I will have enough. And I will read all the stuff and analyze all the stuff. That was very discordant, but it was all already out of tune. Don't do G's very often. G, 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 G. To the C's. To the C's. To the C's. Anyway, so yes. So I will continue to read my book. And imagine the TV series, and imagine it so well that somehow the whole thing gets downloaded into my brain and I know exactly what happens. Like magic or something. How does that happen? Magic! Magically I will know. But then I will also watch them when they're on the BBC, so that's fine. I double dip. Pay my TV license, so I've actually paid for the media technically. So that's good. Brain. Yes, what is brain? Brain. So this has been an interesting week. And the World Cup has started. I'm not at all interested in the World Cup. Oh no. And Wales isn't playing. Scotland's playing. Well done, Scotland. I will cheer Scotland. I've been in Scotland more than a year of my life, so I will pretend that I'm an honorary Scottish person. In fact, my ancestry DNA keeps saying that I've got Scottish ancestry. I don't know how. I sort of did follow it at one point, and I followed it back to a family that was involved with the witch trials in the 1600s. Not being the witches, being the prosecutors of the witches, which is a shame. But maybe some of them were witches. Maybe some of them burnt other ones of them. Yeah, there was witch greys. Yeah. Anyway, yes, in Preston Pans, yay, and in Portobello, and in Musselburgh. I think they were in Musselburgh. I spelled Musselburgh wrong on the internet, and I was shamed for it, and I am very, very sorry. Because I said Edinburgh Station, and somebody said, which Edinburgh Station do you mean, Waverley? And I went, well, there's other ones. When you say Edinburgh Station, you get a ticket, it says Edinburgh Station. It doesn't necessarily specify Waverley. There's also Haymarket, I know that. There's also Preston Pans, I know that. And you've also got Musselburgh. And I spelled Musselburgh wrong, and somebody pointed it out, and then I deleted the whole thread, because I'm very, very ashamed, and I don't like it when people point out that I've done something wrong. Now, I don't think you should point out that people have done something wrong, unless they're being very, very, very... I know this is right. And if they're like, this is right, everything is right, everything I say is right, and it's not right, then you've got the ability to and the right to correct them. But if they just do something, there's a typo, or they've just suddenly done it wrong because they're on the move, on the way back from Edinburgh Station, which was Waverley, then please do not have to. You don't have to correct them all the time. You don't have to correct people unless they've done something wrong and they're telling people that it's right. So, if a teacher says something, this is true and this is right, and you go, actually, no, it's not, then you're justified in saying that because they have got misinformation. They're teaching vulnerable young minds the wrong thing. So, that's one of the reasons I'm not working as a teaching assistant anymore, because I think that if a teacher says something wrong, then it's my obligation to tell them that it's not right. But if I said something that was a bit wrong, but I wasn't actually teaching anybody that, I wasn't going, I'm right, I just said something casually, then there's no reason to correct me. I'm a hypocrite! Yeah, but I'm not, because I think that is true. There's no point pointing out people's errors unless they are making out that they're completely right and muddying the waters. You know what I mean? It's a nuanced situation. All right, nuance. Talking about muddying the waters. Have you seen that big reflecting pool now? It's all muddy, and apparently the pH is making it worse, and it's gonna get worse, and all the paint's gonna flake off. So you'll just have plastic paint in the water. La la la. Yay! So that's fun, isn't it? Yeah, none of my business. I don't live there. It's not my country. It's not my problem. As if everyone said that, then everything would go horribly wrong. But it has, I say, it has. All right, so there's only 2 of you, and thank you very much for joining me. I've got 1 thumbs up and 2 people watching. So thank you very much for joining me. There's 2 people, and the 1 that actually liked me as well. It'll be good enough. And I will leave you, love you, and leave you. And I'll see you next week with the same bat channel. Vampire Lestat. You can't turn into a bat. One of the things that he can't do. Not multi-talented. Well, a little bit multi-talented. All right. I'll see you next week. See you next week. See you next week. Woohoo. Bye-bye.